Public speaking. Yes, public speaking. I said it. I said it. Public speaking. Does it make your skin crawl when I say that? Do you get nervous? Like, what do you think about when I say public speaking? Some people are like, no, no big deal. I have to do it all the time. Some people are like, oh my God, would you shut up? No matter how you feel, no matter how you feel about public speaking, I am here to simplify public speaking for you. Welcome to my channel. I am Ramona J. Smith, world champion of public speaking, and I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and share if you feel like any of this content is relevant or valuable to you, your family, or your friends. Also, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Ramona J. Smith 1, Ramona J. Smith, the number 1. I'm also on LinkedIn, Ramona J. Smith, Facebook, Ramona J. Smith, and I think that's all. I don't do too much Snap. I just never got into Snapchat. I tried. I really tried. I just couldn't. I feel like I'm too old for Snapchat. It just never, I never got the whole Snapchat thing. Anywho, you can also email me if you don't do too much social media. Contact ramonajsmith@gmail.com. Once again, I'm here to simplify public speaking for you. I get so many questions about my world championship speech titled Still Standing. So many questions about my world championship speech Still Standing, and I decided to go ahead and talk about each round straight from the horse's mouth. Now, a lot of people have analyzed my speech. A lot of people have gave their 2 cents about it, but I want to give it to you from the person who wrote it and performed it. I want to give it to you from my perspective, because my perspective is the foundation of the speech. Now, everybody has opinions and everybody wants to throw it into different categories and to add their 2 cents and everything, and that is perfectly fine. But I wrote the speeches about my life, and I gave the speech in front of thousands of people. So yeah, I think my voice here, it matters, and it is legit, and it's relevant, and it's the only one that matters to me. So in the speech Still Standing, I gave 3 rounds. Those were my 3 main points of my speech. When I give speeches, I usually want to give 3 main points in the body, unless I'm giving tips. So tips, of course, if it's top 5 tips for public speaking, or 3 ways to improve your public speaking, or something like that, of course it'll be multiple points, but usually I try to give 1, 2, 3, boom, in and out. So the 3 main points in Still Standing were marriage, education, and speaking, right? So those were the 3 rounds, because it was a boxing theme. So round 1 was college, round 2 was marriage, round 3 was speaking. Today I'm only going to talk about round 1. I'll be doing videos for round 2 and round 3, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification bell so that you know when those videos drop. So round 1, college. I share the story of how I dropped out of college multiple times. I dropped out of college multiple times, and I told this story to, I think, a group of young people in India, and a boy asked me a very intelligent question. He said, "You must have a lot of money if you could go to 4 different colleges." And I thought that was profound, because nobody else even asked me that or said that, and maybe they just didn't want to. They didn't want to seem rude or something. But it's like, why do you drop out of college so many times? You're just wasting money, is basically what he said. And I just told him, lots of financial aid. Lots of financial aid, and that kind of answers that question. But no, I didn't have a ridiculous amount of money or anything like that. It was just bad choices. So let's talk about round 1. I chose education because I feel like that's something that everybody can understand. Everybody has gone to some form of school or have gotten some form of education. So I felt like when you're on the world stage in front of 150 plus different countries, like the people in the audience make up all these different countries all around the world, I wanted to talk about things that everybody could relate to. So education, marriage, and speaking, of course, We are here with Toastmasters International, which is a nonprofit organization to help you become a better leader and better speaker. Everybody can relate to that. So that was an easy one. Marriage, even if the person in the audience, a few people in the audience were not married, that's fine. You know someone who's married, or maybe you've been married before. So I chose marriage and I chose education because everybody has gone to school. Even if you were homeschooled, we all are familiar with education. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, right? And so I talk about how I just felt like college was not for me initially, right? Initially, when I first went off to college at the age of 18, I had no why. I had no purpose, no passion behind going to college other than the fact that I saw my big sister go and she was having fun. And when I graduated high school, I didn't really think of anything else to do except go to college. I was thinking about joining the Navy, but it was just like, I don't even like water that much. So I definitely don't want to be on a ship surrounded by nothing but water for 4 or 5 years. No way. So that was off the table. So I ended up going to a college in Ohio, and it was the same college that my sister had went to. But like I said, I had no roadmap. I had no end goal. They always say begin with the end in mind. I think that's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. Begin with the end in mind. I was literally just there. And I was always a great student. I was a great student in high school. So going and learning and memorizing and taking quizzes and tests, that wasn't the difficult part. I just didn't see the end of the road. And so after the first semester, I'm like, why am I here? Why am I here? And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be coming back here. Maybe I'll go to a different school and I'll try again. Because this was a huge public university. It was a Division I, football crazy, thousands and thousands of people. Just, it was a lot going on. And so I transferred to a smaller school. I transferred to a private Jesuit institution in Northeast Ohio. I think the other college I was at is like in Northwest Ohio. So this was in Northeast Ohio. And then I went there and I really had no why. And it was a smaller campus and I didn't really know anybody. I didn't want to get to know anybody. I didn't live on campus. I lived on campus at the other college. I didn't live on campus. And so I was just like, okay, I just can't. And so I don't even think I finished that semester. It's just, I didn't have the drive. I didn't have the want to. I didn't have the desire or the passion to be there. I just didn't get it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went in undecided at first. And then it was like, I don't know, do I want to do pre-med? What do I want to do? But I only chose pre-med because it sounded cool. I really had no guidance and no direction because neither one of my parents really finished college. Like my mom, she was on the verge of finishing, but she never, well, she finished now, but she didn't really get her degree when I was younger. And my dad, he did a couple of classes here and there, but he didn't get a degree when I was younger. So it's like the only person who I knew to really get guidance from was my sister, but I had already tried that. And it was like, no, I don't want to do that. Fast forward a couple years, I move out to Los Angeles and I check out a small community college there because at this point it's like, okay, I know I need to do something with my life. Let me just try a community college. So fine, I went to a community college out there and I did very well. I got all A's. I even hired a coach to help me, an academic coach to help me. And she was amazing. She was awesome. I still use some of her techniques and strategies today now that my husband is back in school. But I went out there and I did really well, but I ended up moving back to Ohio. And when I moved back to Ohio, I just got a job. It's like, look, this college thing is just not working out for me. So I went back and I think I got into a community college in Ohio, back in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. But then I was working full time and trying to go to school full time. And I just didn't see the immediate benefits and I didn't see like immediate results. So I'm like, what's the point of going to school? I don't even know what I want to do. I still don't know what I want to be when I could just be working more. Because at that time I was like a manager at a retail store. I had a car. I had my own place. It was like school or independence and freedom and being a grown-up. Yes, I choose this. So once again, school was on the back burner. So that's 4 times I tried college and it was just like, meh. But what changed for me is having a child. I had a son and I was not married to his father at the time. So I didn't want my child to look at me and say, my mom never finished anything. And I didn't want to limit my my income. I didn't want to limit my career choices by not having a degree. I knew that working at a retail shop, even if I was the manager, it wasn't going to be enough to take care of our family, even though his dad, amazing, very supportive in every single way. But I still wanted it for myself. I wanted to be able to take care of myself and my son without having to struggle and without having to depend too much on anyone else. So at this point, I'm 25 at this point, and I told y'all I'm gonna be 25 for a long time. But at this point I'm 25 and I'm about to bring this kid into the world, and I'm like, no, I have to do something better with my life. And I just knew I didn't want to go to the military, of course, at that point. I knew that I didn't want to continue just getting jobs where I would have to struggle or get multiple jobs. And so the only way I knew to increase my income and to increase my opportunities was to go back to school. So I ended up going back to that same community college that I dropped out of in Cleveland, Ohio. And I got with a counselor, and before I even started classes, I'm like, look, I have to do everything that I can to avoid dropping out again. So I have to build a solid foundation, and I need academic accountability. And then when I did go back to this college, I had to write an essay about how I was not going to drop out again. I had to write another essay about how I was going to be able to keep the course and stay the course. And I had to meet, I think a requirement was to meet with the academic counselor and map out a plan. So I did that. I used those same strategies and techniques from my academic coach that I had in LA. And I told all my family members, I'm like, hey, I'm going back to college, and I'm really serious this time. I have Ryan now. That's my son. I have Ryan now, and I really want to do better. I remember I was meeting with the counselor maybe a couple times a month. And his name was Kevin Kuntz. I would never forget him, Kevin Kuntz. And he really held me accountable. He really helped me map things out, and he never made me feel bad. He never made me feel bad about coming back, being older, coming back with a kid, coming back after doing so terribly the first time. And I love that approach, that support and the non-judgment that I experienced while working with Mr. Kevin Kuntz, because when I left the first time, my GPA was a 1.2. Okay, my GPA was a 1.2, so I ended up bringing it up to a 3.2, and I did really well. I got majority of all A's and just academic success. I did very well, and I was lucky to have a mentor who was very well connected in the city. So when it was time for me to think about getting my 4-year degree, because that was a 2-year degree at a community college, when I was thinking about getting my 4-year degree, there were universities in the area that had a bridge program, a partnership program. So one of those colleges was Cleveland State University, and another one was Bowling Green, was Baldwin-Wallace University. And I toured Cleveland State, and I think I even got it accepted to Cleveland State, but I'm not sure why I didn't choose Cleveland State. Oh, yes, I am, because they didn't have this program called Sprout, Single Parents Reaching Out for Unlimited Tomorrows. Now, let's talk about this program. Baldwin-Wallace has this program. Well, they had it. I don't think it exists anymore. But my mentor actually did a story on the program, because it was just this amazing program for moms with children who still wanted to finish college. It's very supportive program where you and your kid could actually live on campus, and they have daycare, and they have all these tools and resources for you to get your degree while at the same time being a single or unwed mother. So my mentor told me to reach out to the director of that program, and I reached out to the director of that program, and I applied to Baldwin-Wallace, and yes, it all worked out. So I did very well going back to Tri-C, Cuyahoga Community College. And then I transferred over to Baldwin-Wallace through their program. I forget the name, the A to BW transfer program. The A to BW transfer program. So I got my associate's degree, then I transferred over to Baldwin-Wallace. I participated in Sprout. And that was just an amazing experience, and I definitely graduated with a 3.89 GPA from Baldwin Wallace. I think I may have gotten 2 B's. I got a B in marketing, and I got a B in business law. I got a B in marketing, got a B in business law. Everything else was all A's, Dean's List every semester, and I ended up graduating magna cum laude. I also studied abroad in Ghana at Baldwin Wallace. I was a part of the SIG Fellows. I did a lot of great things at Baldwin Wallace. Wonderful, wonderful college, wonderful university, wonderful place, and everybody was so accepting of my son and my situation. And a lady named Julie Candela, she was the program director at that time, and she really pushed us to be the best. And I know I wouldn't have made it through the program without her, without Margaret Bernstein, without the strong support system that I had with my leaders in my life and with my family and friends. So thank you all for all your support. Thank you for watching this video. But I know that the reason why I was so focused and I went so hard was because I had experienced all these different, I wouldn't even call them challenges or obstacles, because that was self. Like, that was all me. Nobody made me leave college. Nobody made me drop out of college 4 times. That was me. But I didn't want to keep repeating that cycle of failure. So when I really put my mind to it and I was really focused, I just did everything I didn't do, right? I learned from my mistakes, or I learned from my decisions, if you don't want to call them mistakes, and I was able to be successful because I did not relive the past. And so that's why I kind of wanted to I couldn't share all of that, because this video is probably going to be about 20 minutes. I couldn't share all of that information in the World Championship speech, because that's only a 7.5 minute speech. If you go 1 second over, you are disqualified, right? So that is the backstory of round 1. Education, college. Ended up dropping out of college 4 times, but then I came back twice. Got 2 degrees now, working on my 3rd and 4th. Those will be coming soon. But yes. So if you are struggling with college right now, it's okay. It's okay. I definitely encourage you to reach out to an academic coach. I definitely encourage you to get some support from your counselors and from your teachers and your professors. People really want you to succeed. And if they don't want you to succeed, then you're not at the right place. You need to consider transferring and going to somewhere where people want to see you win. At the same time, college is not for everybody. College is not for everyone. I know some very successful people who never even graduated high school. So just because you don't go to college or you don't have a degree, that means nothing. Sometimes I look at my degrees and I'm like, okay, I have them and they're there. Like, okay, I still have to work on myself as a person. So having a degree or not having a degree, it never defined me. It doesn't define you. What defined me was going back and fixing what I messed up, cleaning up my mess, right? Getting that redemption and knowing that I finished some things, and these are stories that I can tell my kids and my grandkids and my students and you all here on YouTube, my new YouTube family, and I can share these experiences and hopefully motivate you to, if there was an area in your life where you feel like you messed up, it is never too late for you to go back and get that redemption. Yes, redemptions. I have totally redeemed myself. And that is round 1. I'll be back in just a moment with, well, just a moment. It might be a moment if you go ahead and click the next video, but I'll be back soon with rounds 2 and round 3. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.